up, guys? I'm out here with my buddy John. We're going on a drive in my Toyota MR2 and his NB Miata.
Right behind me here, I got my 2000 NB1 Miata. I've only had it for about 3 weeks now, I think. Today is going to be my first time really giving it a good shakedown. Hopefully we have a good time.
Swap cars, we're gonna go for a drive. I like this car. Although these cars are similar in many ways, I would say the most glaring differences are the handling characteristics. The MR2 handles very flat and feels very planted around the corners. The suspension is much more firm and it really feels like it's on rails. The Miata, on the other hand, is much softer, but the benefit to the softer suspension is that you can really feel where the brake point might be, and that inspires a little more confidence. The MR2 is so flat and planted around the corners, it's really much harder to tell when it's going to break away. As far as straight line speed, the MR2 definitely felt faster in a straight line, but it was hard to confirm this without doing timed runs. One area that the MR2 is lacking is ease of maintenance. Something as simple as bleeding your coolant is actually a little more involved with the MR2 because the engine's in the rear and the radiator's up front, so you actually have to bleed it in a few spots. On the other hand, the Miata is known for being pretty easy to work on. Another thing that I noticed while driving the Miata is that the pedal placement was much better for heel-toe downshifting. In the MR2, I really have to crank my foot sideways to get a good heel toe. The MR2 also won out in the cargo capacity and interior room areas. I think on paper, the MR2 doesn't look like it should be much roomier, but I've had taller people say that there's definitely more headroom and legroom while driving the MR2. And as far as cargo capacity, the MR2 really benefits from having a trunk as well as a frunk, which actually hold a surprising amount of stuff. When it comes to aesthetics, I have to admit I really like the look of the MR2, and I think it's a little bit more of a head turner. There's less of them around here in the United States, and there are just a ton of Miatas out there. But not to say I don't like the looks of the Miata. I actually like the Miata a lot as well, but I just really like the styling of the SW20 MR2. On the other side of that coin though, because there are so many Miatas, I think they're still a little bit more affordable than MR2s. Prices on both of these cars are rising, but at the end of the day, if you're gonna buy a clean Miata or a clean MR2, you're gonna end up spending a little bit less on the Miata. So all of these talking points are important, but if you're planning on doing motorsport, I think this is the most important difference between these two cars, and that is that the Miata is a better motorsport platform. Because the Miata is so plentiful, it spawned its own racing classes and has tons of aftermarket support. If you want to go buy a relatively affordable small sports car, the Miata is the way to go. The MR2, on the other hand, it's a little more rare, it's a little more expensive, there's less aftermarket support. I know there are spec classes for MR2, but around here, you're definitely going to have more options to race the Miata in spec classes. So if you're thinking about purchasing either of these cars, I would think about all of these points. But if you want to go autocross or track race, I would probably want to get a Miata. And in fact, I may end up selling or trading this car for a Miata at some point just so I can go do spec racing. If you're enjoying this video and you want to get more tips and tricks and build stoke for your builds, consider hitting that subscribe button. And also, if you haven't already done so, please go check out Jon The Motorist YouTube channel. He puts up a lot of great rallycross content as well as Miata track racing content. And you can also hit him up on Instagram at Jon The Motorist. He's also going to be releasing his own MR2 Miata comparison video, so please stay tuned for that as well. Oh, and before I forget, the Miata spec that Jon has came with a limited slip differential. Unfortunately, my MR2 has an open diff. I believe you have to go up to the turbo model to get the limited slip. Thanks for watching. Do you approve of these pop-up headlights?
Absolutely.
He approves.